the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Ukraine. He's going to be representing Litecoin Gaming. We're going to be seeing a lot of those, a lot of that team tonight, Light. He is Hellraiser.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, but also being a little bit cheeky with this SCV, we have the Russian Terran. He is blue, also representing Litecoin Gaming, as this is a team kill. It is MilkiCow.
What is it about the Terran players we're getting tonight, Light?
Look, I saw the lineup, and I know you were like, yo, it's getting late in Singapore. Like, oh, I don't know how much I can stay up. I'm like, mate, these series are going to be like 10 minutes, right? Like, you didn't even know, mate. Oh, God.
To be over just like that, I'm like, wait, you're telling me that series can't? You're telling me that games can be less than an hour and a half long?
You tell me that there are games out there that don't last as long as Go Go Joy versus Bud Always? Oh my god, what is this? Is this even StarCraft?
I did not know this was illegal.
So, what we should say is that Hellraiser did go for a probe scout. He knows that there's a proxy out of the map. He sees that, hey, look, there's nothing here. Even throws down a pylon to block the eventual factory or any kind of follow-up building here. So nicely done here by Hellraiser being cheeky. Meanwhile, it's not a massive commitment to a proxy. It is just a single proxy racks.
Yeah, the Reaper's definitely going to be annoying, and it will make it across the map a little bit quicker than if it was built back home. But shouldn't accomplish too much. Maybe a probe kill here and there. Double Reaper coming out from MilkiCow, though. And that is where things start to get interesting.
Yeah, very interesting choice here, especially because he opts to send the Reaper back home, not into the mineral line, even though there was nothing here. And I think a lot of that is because, I mean, mate, the Zealot, it's coming across the map. Like, it's gonna wreak havoc if there's nothing here. Reaper does show up, slowly dealing with this pylon, and we'll be here to deal with the Zealot as well.
Indeed, it will. It'll take a while to take that Zealot out. But you can always kite with the Reaper. Best case scenario, you get a KD8 charge that really puts that Zealot out of position. That said, Reapers really can't take too many hits.
Yeah, that they cannot, so he has to be careful, has to make sure he keeps an eye on this Reaper, because a couple of swipes and it will go down. What else is important is that we have an Adept coming across the map. We do have a bunker here from MilkiCow. We'll see if it even comes into play though, because again, like, these Reapers are going to be busy with not just the Zealot, but also the Adept.
That they will, or at least these Reapers will be busy, as
True.
MilkiCow has not stopped producing Reapers. He's not actually rallying that barracks just yet, it seems.
Ooh. That he is not actually. Oh, it's actually rallying back home. Okay, so everything is coming back home here. There's a nice denial on the CC. The Adept wants one more SCV. Can he get it? Up.
2 more hits, 1 more hit, and there we go. 2 SCVs goes down. A delay on the CC, which was already delayed. Oh my. That is a very delayed starport.
It really is. Starport is thrown down. Rax is coming back home. Ooh, and it looks like, oh no, I thought a Reaper made it in. Never mind. The bunker is done. The Reapers are coming across the map, and it looks like they should get here. They should get past this Adept and into that bunker.
Yeah, swing up some of his forces because he still wants to get a bit of a scout. Okay. Well, priority number 1 is to scout off here. If he can get probes, then great, but he really needs to know what Hellraiser is running his way. And this is actually a pretty good use of the Reapers already. Gets a scout off. He knows that Hellraiser is going for oracles. Even forces some energy out of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure he would have loved to get into that bunker. Unfortunately, he did kind of take a roundabout way of getting there, and the Oracle was in position to intercept them, so nicely done there by Hellraiser. He does deal with them. Meanwhile, the Hellions actually get into the middle line.
Yeah, so report for the Oracles to come in. Thankfully, Hellraiser did make a second Oracle. One of them is actually already out of energy. Oh no. This could be brutal. The Adept is going to take a while to take out the Hellion.
Yeah, exactly. But how many more kills are we going to see here? One more probe goes down, but then the probes are pulled and the Hellion does go down.
That's a power move, killing the Hellion with probes. Like, sure, it was already low. He was just cleaning up the damage dealt by the Adept, but still. How many probes can say they killed a Hellion?
Exactly. Oh god. And what I will say is that honestly, I still feel like this is well in Hellraiser's hands right now. Like he's getting a third base. He didn't lose that many workers, to be honest, in comparison. Like, you know, we have 3 SCVs versus 4 probes going down. Like, I feel like that's perfectly fine. And now, mate, we have 3 oracles coming across the map.
Definitely more than enough to one-shot these SCVs. They are fairly low on energy, but will that matter too much? MilkiCow does have the Viking out right now, so Hellraiser will have to be a bit careful. 2 Vikings out now, plus that Cyclone. One of these oracles will not go down just yet.
Oh, just barely. All 3 oracles do survive, but they have to be careful, right? There are still Vikings here hunting them down. They will be able to just barely escape, but yeah, they got 3 SCV kills, 3 more added to that.
And he keeps the oracles alive, which is always the #1 priority. Plenty of opportunities right now for him to go back and get some scouting information or throw down some stasis wards for defense.
Definitely. And I feel like I need to kind of reset my brain a little bit here because a lot happened in the early game, right? There were Reapers, there was harassment all over the place. Okay. Now we got to take stock, right? We have oracles from map control. You know, they can tag, they can maybe slip in, deal some damage. They have to be careful. And meanwhile, behind this, Hellraiser is going back to normalcy a little bit and going into those +1 Blink Stalkers.
Indeed, he is. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for Hellraiser to be a little bit annoying here. He has those oracles for high ground vision if he decides to go aggressive, but even just establishing some map control with those stalkers, it's going to be uber valuable. MilkiCow, I wonder if he will decide to go for a 2-base push right now. Well, okay, his orbital has finished up, but I wonder if he'll go for a push before landing that.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, we do have a lot of upgrades on the way, but there still requires a ways out, right? I'd be surprised if he pushes out anytime soon, at least without Sim and +1. He is still working on his production. There we go. He is looking to land this CC, but the Stalkers and the Oracles are on the way to deny this.
They are not if they meet the Cyclones, though. Blink is just about completed over here. I do like this. Third down Stasis Ward just in case Hellraiser needs to retreat. The tanks are looking a little bit exposed.
Mate, they're looking pretty exposed, mate.
Like his chances, yeah.
He does not, or does he? We'll see as he does blink up into the main.
One of the most valuable revelations in StarCraft 2 history. He knew exactly where that army was. He knew that his main base was going to be vulnerable. The Oracle is even taking out the tanks just like that.
Oh my god, beautifully done here by Hellraiser. Going up into the main, sniping a medevac, and also being able to snipe a tank as well. One of the Oracles does get picked up. Oh, maybe even a second. Oh, they just barely escape.
But they are alive, which is the important part.
Exactly. They have so much value. They can regen their shields. They can throw down more revelations. Keep an eye on that army. Cyclone still just barely stays alive. But again, without Stim, it's so difficult to really contend against these Stalkers. Speaking of, Stim did just finish up.
Yeah, but I feel like by now the bio count has been bled out enough that Hellraiser doesn't really have anything to fear when it comes to a breakout. He also knows that there's nothing to fear when it comes to MilkiCow having any control on the map. Just grabs a 4th base.
Exactly. I mean, why not? You just cut the tank count in half. Like, are you really gonna push out with a single tank? Like, you're a madman. Not just that, but also the medevac was taken out earlier as well. Like, any kind of aggressive push would just fall on its face. So Hellraiser feels confident enough to expand, take that 4th base. It is a little bit greedy, and MilkiCow, like, he has to do something, right? He can't just let Hellraiser get away with this.
And doing something is what he shall do here, setting up a mass bioforce and a couple of Winter Mines as well. Back home, he has a somewhat decent defensive setup with that tank, but he really needs this to do damage.
Yeah, exactly.
It is such a risk.
And immediately, we do have the shield battery going down. The army does respond, but it was completely out of position, and the Nexus will go down.
Fantastic pickoff here. The first major victory for MilkiCow this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully not last.
Again, this army is kind of like a glass cannon. Like, if Hellraiser was in position with that shield battery and with that cannon, he would have been fine. He would have held on to his 4th base, but he had no map vision. He had no map control here. He didn't know where the army was, so it took him far too long to respond.
The one time he doesn't throw down a revelation.
I know, right? And the one time, like, the one area where he doesn't have a stasis ward either.
So you get that stasis ward! MilkiCow is going to have to think twice a little bit. You have to take inventory and see what he can get away with, and he actually still has a very potent harassment force on the map. Hellraiser's well aware of this, though.
Yeah, exactly. He did have a spotter here at the Zonaga. Meanwhile, the Oracles do double check as well. We do have a revelation on the main army. Oh, nice scan. Sees the stasis wards.
Will be able to take them out. Just like so. Meanwhile, Hellraiser, okay, his army is looking decent, charged at Archon, but it does feel like it's lacking a bit of a backbone here. So that's what the Immortals are for.
Yeah, and I was about to say, mate, seeing missing a backbone, that's MilkiCow's army. Like, unfortunately, the Widowmine shots, they went off on a handful of zealots, and they were kind of baited out in response, so they didn't really get any shots off. They're all going to get cleaned up. I say that we could see a couple more shots going off here. There's no detection, not yet. Oh, never mind.
See, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Like something's going on there just before the mines reset.
Oh. Exactly. Meanwhile, as all this has been happening, mate, Hellraiser, he has his fourth. He's working on a fifth base, mate. A fifth. MilkiCow's on 2 bases. Yeah. Oh my god.
Might as well he can get away with it. Hellraiser has no idea about his army, but for all MilkiCow knows, this is the freshest base of Hellraiser. Turn to go straight forward, and as you said, glass cannon. If they can evade the army of Hellraiser, they can do a lot of damage. But when they don't, this happens.
Yeah, exactly. They just can't go head to head with this army as it is now. And now the Colossus are coming out. We have a second Colossus on the way, extended thermal lance. And why the hell not? Hellraiser, he's not behind, but still, why not? Dark Shrine.
Look, just because you're not behind in the economy doesn't mean you're not behind in... I was sure I was going to go there. You're not behind in the Dark Shrine quota. I don't know.
Sure, why not? Oh my god. What I will say is that, again, Hellraiser doesn't have too much vision out on the map. We do have the army hitting this fifth base, and Hellraiser, he will be able to respond.
Will he cancel? Oh. Yeah, I guess he doesn't need to cancel that. He does respond in time. Wow, pulling back the zealots just before they charge forward into the depths on the Widow Mines.
Yeah, exactly. But solid revelation, all the Widow Mines do get picked off once again.
And Hellraiser is going to be able to chase that force all the way back home. Meanwhile, towards the north, Hellraiser's main army is looking to push into MilkiCow. But can he find the right angle? Absolutely. The angle where there's no army.
Also, the MP missed as well. Meanwhile, in comes that fort towards the right. That tank will go down. There's nothing really here to respond. The army does maneuver over, but that exposes his planetary.
Man, I'm so used to seeing Terran players go for multi-prongs against their Protoss opponents, not the other way around.
Oh my god.
Terran multi-prongs. Yeah, this very mobile force of MilkiCow is doing a lot, but that will be put to an end. Hellraiser well aware of what MilkiCow wanted to go for, already preparing with his stalkers.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? The majority of the army was still able to drop here into the main base, forces a recall, and Hellraiser will be able to clean this up. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised. He didn't really deal too much damage across the map. Like, he couldn't break the planetary, and he didn't get into the mineral line at the third base.
Yeah, it feels like he gave up his momentum in order to defend his main base, which, understandable, you want to keep your production and your tech alive for as long as possible, but there was a little bit more opportunity here for our Red Protoss player. Was that a kill?
That was a kill, mate. That was a kill.
Whoa.
I 100% agree. I feel like recalling was maybe a little bit premature. I feel like he probably could have warped in a little bit more at home. Maybe he overreacted a little bit, and that gave MilkiCow the opportunity to just come out across the map and maybe snipe another Nexus. No, he does back off.
Yeah, just pick up in Archon at the very least. What's an Archon to the rest of this game? Stalker's coming in for a bit of a flank, keeping your eyes on the retreat of this army. He just needs the Colossus to get in.
Oh my god, exactly. MilkiCow, he's running all the way back home to what? A couple of reinforcing bio units? There is one Widowmine, I guess? Yo, where are those ghosts that we saw earlier? Where are the EMPs?
Picked off, mate.
Oh my god,
He hasn't quite been able to replace them. He's been focusing a lot more on getting Marauders out. He's producing 3 Liberators at a time, though, and that can definitely start to turn the tables once the air weapons upgrades kick in.
True. Very true, very true. It feels like this entire time is the main army of the Terran player has been so fragile, but adding these Liberators will change everything. Finally, he will have some pushing power once they come out.
Absolutely will, but oh wow, what a pickoff.
It's one of those things where you scan the DTs, but you can't kill them anyway because the DTs.
And with that, GG is called. Hellraiser takes game number 1. That's a very nice back and forth you had.
It was. To be fair though, it did feel like Hellraiser, he was in a pretty good position for the majority of that.
Yeah.
Maybe some questionable moves with that recall a little bit too early. Maybe he could have taken a base first and then done that or something along those lines. But regardless, like he was still in control of that game.
Absolutely. It feels like a game where MilkiCow kind of put himself behind, unfortunately, from the start, but was able to make up for that a couple of points of the game. It's coming back to me like last season of DreamHack when we saw MilkiCow. He's a player who likes to be very active on the map with his bioforces, not necessarily going for multi-prongs, but just making sure that he has a presence with a pretty sizable bioforce, able to snipe nexuses here and there and just keep his opponents busy. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough here. Once the actual engagement happened, I mean, Hellraiser took a couple of hits to his economy, but not enough. He was already maxed out towards the end of that.
Yeah.
Hellraiser was not going to give MilkiCow the time to get to a late game.
It was a very solid game from Hellraiser. He was also being very greedy as well, getting away with a lot because of the position he was in. But that was like such a wonky start to the game. Like it was such a. But things did end up, they ended up getting rolling there, and yeah, GG Hellraiser taking game 1, and now you're getting ready to dive in to game number 2.
On a bit of a different map here, one that I think MilkiCow's active style can definitely work in his favor. Or definitely works in his favor.
Definitely.
My vocabulary is slipping as we get towards the end of the night. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our best of 3 series here on Romanticide LE. In the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Ukraine. He is going to be representing Litecoin Gaming. We have Hellraiser.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Russian Terran player representing Litecoin Gaming. It is MilkiCow.
Not proxying this time, which is a good sign.
Yeah, I appreciate that. As you said, like, he did kind of put himself behind with that proxy. It didn't really accomplish much at all, right? Like, if you recall, all the Reapers, they had to go back home, and then they got picked off. He couldn't delay any mining time either. It was just a really, really rough start from MilkiCow.
Now it's just a lot more smooth by getting buildings where they should be.
Oh, God. And yeah, we should be seeing a little bit of a more standard game here on Romanticide, I would assume. I'm just really curious to see how MilkiCow fares against Hellraiser when they are on a more even footing after the early game.
I'm definitely very optimistic for our blue Terran player here. Again, despite putting himself behind in that game number 1, MilkiCow was able to fight back. He was able to catch Hellraiser off guard a couple of times. Sniping those nexuses were absolutely huge. But it just was barely not enough to put MilkiCow back on even footing. Now that they start on even footing, I can see him taking an advantage.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he approaches this. Again, mate, there's a lot of different ways to approach this matchup as the Terran player and as the Protoss player, as we do see an SCV Scout. MilkiCow, of course, he did avoid his Reaper, did skip it, went straight for that Marine instead. Oh my.
Yeah, thankfully not going completely Marineless, so MilkiCow will have a little bit of insurance at the start of the game. This is something different coming out from Hellraiser already.
Oh yeah, we do have this Stargate opening. Of course, we did see it in the previous game where he did open up with triple Oracle. Are we gonna are we gonna see that again, mate?
Well, we definitely may.
I'm curious because we were talking about it yesterday, a bunch of stylistic players like Strange, for example, or Skillus even in specific matchups. Like Hellraiser, is he one to just commit to the Oracles, or is he going to do something a little bit more standard, which would have been like a bit of a more commitment into Phoenixes?
Well, we're about to get our answer as the Stargate finishes up. And the first Oracle is out. Doesn't mean he's committing to it, but it does mean he's getting an Oracle.
Oh.
Asking for a quick little pause here.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a pause here. Hopefully everything is okay here for MilkiCow. Hopefully there's no issues. Like, I don't know, maybe there's a delivery at home. Oh, there we go. We're good.
Ooh. A milk delivery.
Sure. That you just struck me there. Like, what a very interesting ID, MilkiCow. Okay.
I like it.
In my mind, he's lactose intolerant. In my mind, he doesn't even drink the milk, mate. Oh god. But yeah, I have to wonder what the
like almond milk.
Maybe. Oh, is that even milk though? I mean, what's the story behind this ID? Why MilkiCow of all things? Does he live on a farm? Does he own a cow?
That's what I wanted to know. But I mean, you know, it's a MilkiCow.
Sure. Why not, buddy? Why not? Oh god. Alright, here we go. We do have the medevac zooming across the map. It is for a Widowmine drop, as it was a Widowmine drop opening, and yo, the medevacs and the Widowmines are not stopping here.
That they're not. Multi-pronged Widowmine drops are on the way. Thankfully for Hellraiser, he didn't commit himself too hard to the oracles. He will be able to get some revelations if need be. Behind this though, Phoenixes. He'll be able to lift up these mines if it comes to that. Best case scenario, he's able to take out the medevacs. Trying to deal with the mines before they really borrow. One of them will though.
Mate.
Gets a cool two. Mate.
Not just one, 3 of them borrow, 3 of the shots go off. What's important, it's a little bit unfortunate, this is a little bit mistimed. There is an armory behind this, but the armory is not done yet, so detection is not required to clean these up.
That it is not, but what about round 2 coming on the way?
True. Here we go. So the second drop, this one will be lined up nicely with the armory, but he has to be careful. Again, mate, there are 3, soon to be 4 Phoenixes out on the map. You have to make sure you avoid these. You don't want to go down prematurely. Oh.
Yeah, he really needs to distract those Phoenixes. And he is with his Hellion, so that brings up a bit of an opportunity for MilkiCow to go into the natural base. The Phoenixes are coming back. The Phoenixes are coming back.
Oh, no, they're not. They're going over to the right-hand side of the map. They're going across the map, so these Widowmines, they will borrow.
2 of them in the natural, 3 of them in the natural, 1 of them in the main, 9 already going down, 12 of them. Forces all of the Sky Army back home. Does he even have enough energy for a revelation?
He should soon, but it will only be for 1 revelation, so he can't deal with all these Widowmines, especially if MilkiCow does split them up.
And he already has. I'm loving this. The high ground on the natural. It's supposed to be 1 to the low ground. Is he able to get the 1 in? Yo, if he can pick off the Oracle.
That would have been
able to.
That would have been huge. Another shot does go off. It looks like one final one will here in the main base. In the end, only 6 probes, but all in all, mate, not bad damage. 29 in total.
Yeah, exactly. Only 6 probes with this assault, but let's not forget the initial drop. The Hellions as well. They weren't getting those crispy probes that we normally want them to, but they have been chipping away at this 3rd base mineral line, taking out the transferring probes, even another one going down. And it's not stopping. Somebody's a fan of it, sure.
Yeah, he just keeps on going. This is something that we saw rise to popularity for like a month or 2 in ZVT, if you remember, right? Where Bjorn and Dream, they were just going for non-stop Widowmine drops. We even saw Sita do it. The entire mineral line goes down and he's not done. Oh my god.
Nate finally getting some cannons out. Won't have to rely too much on the oracles, but the damage has already been done. Hellraiser, he should already be in the next phase of his tech, but he hasn't been able to get there because of these Widowmine drops.
He's really struggling, and unfortunately there's no cannon here. There we go. We have a revelation. Does hit the Widowmine. You should see it being... Oh, that's it. It's over.
This is peak TVP, at least from the side of the Terran player. This is what I want all of my TVPs to be like. Like, no fights at all. No bio versus gateways. Nuh-uh. I am going to Widowmine drop you into submission. MilkiCow, he is my new inspiration. I bow to you, man.
What just happened? that was disgusting. I feel bad for Hellraiser after that. I actually feel it's like a game of whack-a-mole, but you don't have a hammer. Like it's like I just have to sit back and watch. Like, he was spitting decently well. I guess you could say that it's on him for not getting another Oracle out. He was relying on just Phoenixes to defend. Oh my god, just wow, what a game, what a game.
Yeah, I definitely understand wanting to cut corners there, especially after you've already had that much damage dealt with the initial mine drops. So like, okay, I can probably deal with the rest of what's coming so long as I'm on top of everything, but it only takes one. It only takes one shot to completely ruin your economy, and MilkiCow got way more than one.
Yeah, definitely. It's something like where, like, what gets me about what we just saw is the stark contrast between game 1 and game 2, where game 1, like, it was a wonky start, and then boom, like Hellraiser, he was just so in control of the entire map. Like, he was counterattacking. Sure, he was losing a couple of nexuses here and there, but it wasn't the biggest of deals. He had a solid base army. Game 2, MilkiCow's like, yo, I'm just not gonna let you get to an army like that. And like, it's not like for like a proxy or anything like that. It's just like a highly, like, high tempo aggressive play, and the economy of Hellraiser was just non-existent.
Yeah, what gets me about that game is that we've never had an engagement.
Yeah.
At all. That
That's
was
the thing.
harassment
There was no fight.
until one player ran out of patience.
Yeah, he just harassed his opponent to death. Oh my god.
And I wanted to take it out of context. But we are going to be concluding this best of 3 on Oxide LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have the red protest player coming out from the land of Ukraine. I kind of want to see him reciprocate the game his opponent just gave him. Representing Litecoin Gaming, he is Hellraiser.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Russian Terran player. He is blue, representing also Team Litecoin Gaming. It is MilkiCow. Also, shout out to Rotterdam in the chat. He's letting us know that, mate, that was MilkiCow's first win in a DreamHack event.
Whoa. For real? First map win?
I guess so. I would need to check the stats, but that's crazy. Oh my god. If so, congratulations.
Wow, that is... Yeah, definitely. That is a little bit hard to believe, but yeah, I definitely do remember MilkiCow being a player who had a bit of a tough style.
Yeah.
Or a bit of a difficult style. Like, intentionally, he would play this very active, very APM intensive, very attention very attention draining sort of style, and those definitely required a lot of perfection. You were not allowed a single mistake, unless your opponent will get on top of that. Switching things up a little bit in this series has allowed MilkiCow to take a bit of a victory.
It really has. It really has. And I like how he's kind of utilizing his persona a little bit here. Like Hellraiser, he goes for the probe scout, he sees that there's nothing here, he still has not seen that the Rax is in the natural.
Yeah, honestly, Hellraiser doesn't seem too worried, to be honest. Isn't really checking the periphery of his bases just yet, but he is getting a Zealot to send across the map immediately. Confirms that there's a Reaper. Hellraiser knows that there shouldn't be too much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he sees the Reaper here with his probe. He knows that it wasn't a full-on proxy or anything like that. It is at home. The Zealot will get here, but, I mean, the second Reaper isn't too far behind, so the Zealot shouldn't be dealing too much damage. Oh, and this time, a Reaper should get into the bunker, as long as it avoids the Adept. Oh god.
Yeah, the Adept is gonna have a lot to say about that. Interesting that MilkiCow likes going for double Reapers, triple Reapers even.
He is committed. Meanwhile, the Zealot does get into the mineral line, but there is a Reaper here to swat it away. Zealot does get distracted by said Reaper. Meanwhile, we do have the second Reaper, or I guess the original Reaper, looking to try and find a way into this bunker. Be a little bit annoying, right? Deny all this mining time here at the natural.
Yeah, definitely not the biggest of deals for a Protoss player, but as I said, just denies even more mining time will keep him back a little bit.
That it will. That it will. Meanwhile, ooh, the SCV does get taken out, and yeah, sure, this is a little bit annoying. I mean, thankfully, he finally pulls this off, right? I bring this up because in game number 1, he attempted to, but his Reapers just couldn't make it to the bunker. They were taken out in transit, so in the end, it had to be salvaged.
Speaking of being in transit, the other Reapers are starting to come in, potentially join that Reaper in the bunker, but for now he's going straight for the scout. Hellraiser is aware of this, and he is trying to prevent that. Oh, I feel like MilkiCow could have tried to bust his way through.
It's possible. He definitely would have lost one Reaper in the process, though. So in the end, he does back off. Meanwhile, the rest of the Reapers, mate, they're joining up.
And they are looking to take out one of these adepts. The second one looking a little bit vulnerable. The Stalker will provide a bit of a backbone for Hellraiser's army. But so will the bunker for MilkiCow.
That they will. Thankfully, like, he noticed that the shield battery was just about to finish up, so he does go back to the safety of this bunker with the shield battery. Then Hellraiser, he should be able to clean this up. But, ooh, the Hellion actually slips into the main.
I don't believe it's seen the Void Ray just yet, but he will confirm that it is a Stargate once again coming out from Hellraiser. Now he'll be aware of the Void Ray.
Yeah, as the Void Ray does show up, it does bust down this bunker, but yo, 2 more probes went down. Like, not bad at all. And the 2 Reapers do escape.
Yeah, it can continue to provide a little bit of scouting, a little bit of spotting here. Now,
they do.
A Void Ray in PvT is not something you see too often.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little bit surprised myself. Like, part of me feels like, I mean, it's great to deal with the bunker, I guess, but he didn't need it either. A very interesting choice here from Hellraiser, not the norm, as you said.
Yeah, thankfully for him, he doesn't seem to be committing too much into Stargate play. Just a single Void Ray to deal with whatever's around his bases, and will be transitioning more into a Twilight Council gateway style, which MilkiCow sees.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That he does. He does dive in. He does scout said Twilight Council and Forge, so he should be aware that there are Blinkstalkers, or +1 Blinkstalkers on the way, especially because he got a good eye on that gas count. And now with that information, how does MilkiCow respond here? Again, just kind of working his way up, working on his stim, working on his +1. Oh, but he does miss. Yeah, he does just barely miss the Oracle.
That he will look and deny this third base. Cyclones should have a bit of a good time targeting that down. The Vikings are going to do their best to deny the Void Rays from getting in position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he lands. I mean, there was no Void Ray, right? So just add that DPS. Why not? Meanwhile, ooh, the Oracle does dive in, and unfortunately, there are no missile turrets. The Marines were a little bit out of position. 3 SCVs do go down, but at least MilkiCow did deny that third.
Yeah, it's so important for him to slow down the economy of his Protoss opponent. Hellraiser, he wants to get to the next phase. He wants to potentially throw down a Robo Bay or a Templar Archives. Doesn't want to do that without a third base to back him up, but he can throw down a Dark Shrine before the third base finishes.
Of course he can. Oh god, the PTSD, mate. I mean, so MilkiCow, he scans, he confirms that okay, there's no 2-base all in, right? You're still committed to getting a third base. Oh, thank God, you know, breathe a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, he is unaware of that Dark Shrine for now.
Honestly, the Dark Shrine is going to be very useful in the defense right now. Hellraiser, he lacks that backbone. He doesn't have Immortals out. He doesn't have any Robo-Bay units. He's relying a lot on Stalkers, which is not what you want against a Marine tank like this. But the DTs, if there are no scans available for MilkiCow, can completely ruin his day.
Oh yeah, that they can. Meanwhile, Hellraiser was doing a really good job at chipping away at this army because Sim only just now finished. Meanwhile, oh my god, we do have the landed Vikings in the natural base because why the hell not? 11 probes do go down. Ay.
And drawing away to focus the Void Ray actually super useful right now. It means that this tank has a lot less to worry about. These bunkers will be able to get up, won't be in too much of a certain position.
I am a little bit concerned though, because I don't know if you just noticed, he just threw down a scan, but yo, he's throwing down a missile turret! Mate.
Wow, he's getting this to deal with the Void Ray. It's gonna help him in ways that MilkiCow is not even aware of.
Well, he saw the Dark Shrine because of the Vikings, right? That landed in the natural, so he's well aware that he does need those scans. Looks like the missile turret will go down though.
It will. A couple of Void Rays did finish up, but it's mostly for the Archons. And Hellraiser is able to just barely clean this out. Doesn't take any economic losses. And he's mostly just lost gateway units. Very good trade for our red Protoss player.
Exactly. And honestly, I feel like that was a pretty decent trade there from MilkiCow, right? He got a bunch of workers with his Vikings. He traded relatively well, but his army was pushed back, and unfortunately, there was no third CC behind that. I'm a little bit shocked. I thought, okay, he can back off and he can take his third, but it's only just now starting.
Yeah, if he had that right as he started pushing out, would have been a way different story. Would have had way more income by now.
God, yeah, definitely. Aye. Meanwhile, MilkiCow, I mean, so far, you know, he does go toe-to-toe with these Stalkers, does push them back, still working on that third. But behind all of this, like, the Immortal count's getting a little bit higher. We still haven't seen the DTs come into play, like, harassing, in a harassment way, which is a little bit odd, to say the least. Like, there's no missile turrets at home.
There aren't, but, yeah, Hellraiser just hasn't really been able to get them in position. He hasn't gotten a warpism out yet. Transitioning now to his Robo Bay. But as that happens, MilkiCow already planning ahead, already getting those Liberators.
Yeah, exactly.
For us now.
Something that I'm a little bit surprised about. I was a little bit shocked. I was like, did he even use the DTs? He did warp them in for an Archon, I guess. But so far, that's all he's utilized it for.
Alright, 2 more DTs coming down. The Archon. It's for an Archon again.
It is. I mean, Archons are great units, to be fair. But yeah, I was just a little bit surprised because MilkiCow is looking a little bit vulnerable when it comes to that detection at home. Regardless, there we go. He does pounce on the 4th base, immediately forces a cancel.
Just like that, he's able to equalize the bases once again. Hellraiser is doing his best to pick off the retreat, but he definitely needs to know when to cut his losses. The force fields, though.
Oh boy,
will be cutting the army in half.
It will, it definitely will. Meanwhile, thankfully, the 3rd base is now up and running. We have a decent tank line on top of all this. We see the transition into those ghosts. Oh boy, but Hellraiser, he's still got that 4th on the way, mate. We got Colossus, extended thermal lance. I do worry here from MilkiCow, especially because that initial push I feel like was meant to accomplish a little bit more, but now comes the 2nd wave.
It does, and I will say that MilkiCow seems to have the better army for the time being. If Hellraiser can buy himself enough time to get some Colossus out and to get a couple more charges to buffer, it's going to be a completely different story. But MilkiCow's already sieging up.
Yeah, that he is. The tank's already in position. The Liberators are as well. It's going to be really awkward for Hellraiser to push into this. He does have shield batteries, though. He does have overcharge available.
Well, he'll have it if the Nexus stays alive, which is exactly what MilkiCow is trying to target. Hellraiser moving into the choke point on top of the Liberation Zones and the siege line. He knows he has to give it up.
Wow.
He cannot keep that base running for too much longer.
Exactly. He was not in position when he needed to be. He allowed all this to siege up and get in position. The base will fall.
A very fresh base here. Thankfully for Hellraiser, he is able to transfer his probes over to that 4th base location. But MilkiCow is slowly encroaching further, closer and closer. Hellraiser just going for the base trade.
Oh yeah, he knows. I was about to say, like, this is an awful position to engage, especially if Hellraiser is here on the right-hand side of the army. So instead, he just sends everything across the map. But the base trade is initiated so late here for Hellraiser.
Absolutely has. And fun fact here, Light. Extended thermal lance was denied. Those Colossus are going to be so much more vulnerable. And sure, Hellraiser has a recall. Does he want to recall on top of his entire army?
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, like, a recall will be available if he needs it. Oh, this is huge. DTs are warped in. Mates.
Defensively this time, it's going to be so important for these ghosts to get those EMPs on top of them.
That's going to be the only way, right? Like, again, the CC has been lifted up. This CC in the main base doesn't have any energy whatsoever. A scan has been used in the main. It's going to be all about the EMPs. Thankfully, there are a lot of ghosts and they have plenty of energy.
They do, but they do have to make sure they actually get those EMPs down. It's a manual targeting spell. Hellraiser has 1 recall available to him. Actually, does he? That Nexus might not have enough energy. It's actually getting very, very low. Okay. He does have enough energy for a recall, and he is actually building another Nexus.
The thing is, this base will fall, right? So recall is not going to be used here. Meanwhile, this is going to be a fresh Nexus. Doesn't have enough energy quite yet. And, yeah, surprisingly, like, Hellraiser, he's just going for it right now. Against the Terran player who can lift up his buildings, which, to be fair, he hasn't quite. I mean, he's trying to find that nice, juicy spot. Meanwhile, this is it. This is the last Nexus.
Oh, my God. MilkiCow made me my elimination. Hellraiser trying to get the heck out of there. He has enough for 1 more Nexus. He is getting one towards the south, but MilkiCow already has his eyes on that with his SCV. Exactly. He has enough for 1 more Nexus. That's it. But the DTs.
Oh my God, here we go. A DT does get scanned. It does get taken out. Meanwhile, it looks like this CC will be found out and taken out as well. Oh god, EMP lands.
Oh, good EMPs. There's still a couple of ghosts that are hidden, but there's still a couple of ghosts with energy. I mean, DTs are hidden.
That they are. Meanwhile, we may end up in a situation where Hellraiser wants to engage this army. Oh god, but not a sieged up army. There are so many tanks.
Liber is still alive throughout all of this. They can definitely zone out everything else of
he's
Hellraiser, but he is unsieged.
Oh god. Okay.
Almost getting flanked. MilkiCow is.
I like how as they both like pass each other, we're both holding our breath. We're like, who's coming in first? Oh god. Meanwhile, we do have an Nexus here towards the top left-hand side of the map, and MilkiCow, he does have eyes on it. He is aware.
Oh, and that's gonna be the last Nexus here for Hellraiser. Once that gets taken out, then his entire map vision is gonna be revealed.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, that is in Hellraiser. He wants to try and slow this army down. He has to protect that Nexus.
Absolutely does, but Liberators are looking to get in position.
Oh, he's going again.
Hellraiser going once.
Okay. He's turning around.
Oh. Yeah, if she cancels that base, he knows that MilkiCow doesn't know that he canceled it.
Exactly. And Hellraiser does get that refund. He can get his base elsewhere.
We can't do that for too much longer. Beautiful EMPs! Taking out the shields of almost every unit, but is that going to be enough? Scan goes down, takes out DTs from the side. The Colossus is looking a bit more exposed. They're walking to Liberation Zone!
Mate, I feel like he may have done it. It's hard to call. There's barely anything left for the Protoss. The tanks,
trying to siege up, and they do manage to do so. There are a couple of units in the medevacs. They do get landed, and that has got to be it. MilkiCow wins his first ever series in a DreamHack Masters main event.